Hi everybody. In this video we are going to understand how to read the cell references used in a formula. This is a spreadsheet where we have certain customer details. We have the customer ID, customer name, their email address, city, zip code, latitude and longitude. In the formula sheet we are trying to look up for the email addresses of certain customers. So I've already written XLOOKUP formulas for that. In this video we will not be trying to understand the syntax or how a formula works, rather understand what are the cell references used in the formula and how to read them. So once you click on the cell which contains the formula, and then when you click into the formula bar, you can see the certain cell references get highlighted. So you see B3, that is the lookup value, gets highlighted, and if you see the sheet area, you see B3, the cell also gets highlighted, whereas the lookup array and the return array doesn't get highlighted. So this is the first indication that these are not from the current active sheet. Okay, and the second indication is the sheet name is mentioned before the array. So before the range, whatever range, the lookup range or the return range, there is customer with an exclamation mark followed by the range. So this means that this range is from the customer sheet. Okay, and also our return value also is from the customer sheet. So this gives us an idea that these arrays, or our lookup array and our return array, is from a different sheet. So here I explained that if it B3 is from the current value, but it does not have any sheet mentioned before the cell reference. This is not the only case where the current cell reference is mentioned. We can also have where the sheet name is mentioned. So if you see here, we have the same formula, but whereas the current sheet name is mentioned before the cell reference. However, but we can see it is highlighted. It is not like the other two references, rather it gets highlighted, and the same color the cell also gets highlighted. So this is how the references will appear when it is selected from a customer sheet. So if we go to the customer sheet, it is it's data which is not in a table format. Okay, now we will see how will it look when we have a table format. So under the table sheet, we have the same data as mentioned in the customer. However, this has been converted into a table and renamed as customer table. So if you go to the formula sheet and click on this, we see that the it looks totally different. So B3, we have the same lookup value. However, our lookup array and our return array seems different. So how would you read this? So here the first part is your table name, followed by the column name that you are actually looking for. So in customer table, we are actually looking up the array called customer name. And what do we want to return? We want it to return from the same customer table, we wanted to return the customer email address. Okay, so this is how the formula will look when you have selected the columns from a table. Okay, and also I will show an example where the sheet name is mentioned for a current sheet. If you see, formula B5 is mentioned here. It is from the current sheet, it gets highlighted here, and it is followed by the table name and the column name from the table. The lookup array, return array, is also the similar like the lookup array. So it has a table name followed by the column name. Okay, so this is one way to understand how we from where the cell references are selected, or which cell or which range is selected in the formula. Now there is also another way that you can find out is if you go to if you go to formulas and then you click on trace precedence, there will be blue arrow marks that appear indicating which cell references are used in the formulas. So if you see, if I select C3, it tells that B3, the lookup values, it does not give us exactly what part of the formula it is referring to, but it only shows us what affects the formula or which cells are used. So since the second part of the lookup value and return value is not of the in the same sheet, it shows us a that it is from a different sheet. And if I click on if I try to find the precedence from the formula which looks up from the table, the same thing will appear. It will appear, blue tick marks will appear for the cells in the current worksheet, and a different icon, black dotted line with a table icon will appear indicating that it is from a different sheet. Okay, to remove these arrows, we can just click on this remove arrows. This will clear the arrows. Thank you for watching.